Yo guys, Select here, and I wanted to show you guys a charge blade tutorial because I love charge blade so much that I decided, hey, why not make a tutorial of it since, I've become so experienced at it. But I don't want to give you guys these extra long ass tutorials, so let's just get into it, okay? So first, we have our sword and shield mode. Then of course if you press X and R, you have your axe mode. Usually for longer reach, or to get a lot of monsters that are aerial or higher up they need to hit. And of course you can press R to transition back into sword and shield mode. But let's start off with the basic combos. 1, 2, 3. Pretty cool. Now as far as your next attack, unfortunately you wouldn't be able to do that as far as the shield bash. If you press X and A, you'll do a rushing slash. So if you have a monster, for example, that's a couple steps away from you, you can just do a slash. And that'll count as the first attack. So if you do that, 1, 2, 3. My favorite move is the shield bash. And you can do it between your first, second, or third. And that's a good opportunity to switch up, and that's the reason why I like the charge blade so much, because it has so much variety. So you can do something like 1, 2, onward to that next attack. Now you don't need to do a combo for that. You can just hold the A button and make sure you charge on time. As soon as you see that little flash, you let go. Now, because let's say if you hold it for too long, you don't want to hold it for too long, you're going to do a weaker slash, and it took longer, so that just defeats the whole purpose of DPS. So you definitely want to hold it. So you see that yellow, you do a double slash. Now as far as mix-ups, one of my favorite mix-ups I like to do would be to do a 1, 2, 3 shield bash into that. So it's something simple. We do X, X, A. So that's pretty simple. Now, if you want to get a little fun, and you want to start going for variety attacks, we're going to go into switch X, and we're going to see how those are. So this is something you want to do if you, for the most part, have a monster that's a little bit higher up or in the air. Like if you have a flying, if you're fighting a dragon, or if you're fighting, let's say, a Kangala and they're on the vines, or a Kechawacha. Then you have your A combo. Usually that's a lot more effective if you actually have phials. So what I want to do for you guys is show you guys a couple of mix-up attacks that you can do. You do something like this, shield bash, and then you're transitioning. What I want to show you guys is your transitioning moves between your, well, you can actually do it even when standing still, but standing still is a little bit different, so I'm going to get to that. So let's say you do your first, second, or third attack. Between each one, you press X and R. So we can do to transfer into your axe, and you can actually follow up. So let me give you guys an example. You can go from your axe back to your sword and shield very easily. You can do this, for example, and just spam it. It's not really the most effective way to fight, especially when it comes to gathering your files, so I wouldn't recommend it. But I mean, listen, if you like to go crazy, go for it. I would say one of the smoothest combos would probably be what I just showed you just now. So if you're, let's say, going into axe mode, you want to switch back to sword to continue building your files, for example. You can do something like this, for example. Then press A, do a wild swing attack, press R, transition back into your sword. So that's a good combo. Something I personally like myself. So you guys get the whole idea of how the combos work, and it's really easy. Of course, it's R and A once you have phials to basically reload your phials in your shield. Now, as far as axe mode, yeah, that's like a really good combo, because of course you want to have the most efficient combos, and which is more smooth for you. So something like this. But I'll definitely recommend this combo. Then press R and transition. One cool thing as well. The reason why I like that move so much is all you have to do is do an attack and then do a sidestep, and you'll constantly do roundhouse swings. Swing, 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 swing. The reason why I like that so much is because after you do that swing, if you notice, your shield is right in front of you, which is an opportunity for guard points, and I want to get into that. Now, as far as guard pointing, I want you guys to pay attention to something, because a lot of people tend to get this confused. Now, like I said before, if you're doing a combo, you can press X and R at the same time to transition into your axe mode. But if you notice, I'm going to show you guys. So it's right in front of me. If I do my first attack and transition, you'll notice my shield is like, I put my shield right in front of me. That's a guard point position. So watch this. See that? As soon as you see your shield do that, where it's morphing into the axe, I'll show you now. Now, as soon as you see that, that's a guard point position. So even though you're transitioning into your axe mode, that's still an opportunity to get a guard point out of it. A perfect guard. But you guys realize that it's very easy while you're doing a combo. So if I go 1, 2, you're good. Or even your third combo. 1, 2, 3. Easy. But watch this, guys. If you're standing still and you hold R and you press X, it will not work. Notice how different it looks. Right. So when I'm transitioning, my weapon is behind me. So that's not a guard point position, so it doesn't count. Keep in mind, when you're standing still, if you want to do a guard point, it's X, then R, very quickly. It's almost as if you're pressing it so fast, it's almost as if you're pressing it almost at the same time. But just remember, it's X, then R. So let me show you the animations just to make sure you know you're doing it correctly. So let me show you the wrong way by holding R first, then pressing X. Not right at all. So you can easily see when you're doing a guard point. Now let's press X, then R very quickly. Then let's do it between a combo. Same animations. The shield is in front of you the entire time. You hold R, press X, wrong one, and you will get punished. Alright, so enough of this. I showed you guys the combo, so let's get into the fight. We're gonna need some rations. Alright, time to fight a monster. As far as stacking phials, I would definitely recommend using your charge A move to transition in the phials to your shield. You can even do it in sword mode or axe mode. A good way you want to do it is do your first attack to a shield thrust, and then you're acting as if you're going to do something else, but you press R, so I'll show you. So you're going to press X, then X and A, then X and A. So watch this. Press R, and if you notice now, since I use 5 phials, my shield is red. And the reason why Charge Blade is one of my favorites is because it has offensive as well as defensive attributes. So let me show you guys something. Let's try the guard points. Now I just did a standing still guard point. You'll realize you're doing a guard point when you have that effect of that yellow effect when you block. Now let's try a guard point while attacking. Oh, that was really fast. Let's try again. So it is easier when you're attacking, and it does take some time for a lot of people to get used to doing the standing still guard point, but just remember, it's X, then R. Also, if you notice, just for doing a guard point, you are rewarded with phials. Now I want to show you guys something. After you do your perfect guard, you have three options. You can either switch into your axe mode, you could either dodge, or you can do your special attack. Now, of course, when your shield is red, you'll do this special. And now he's confused. Alright. So we see the special that you use when you have your red shield. But what I want to do for you guys is show you guys how to do the special cancel. It's very simple. Oh no. Alright, let's get ready. Alright, so the special cancel is actually really simple. Very, very, very simple. Now, you guys seen when I did my special attack, right? So what I'm going to do is, when I get in that animation again, wherever you're facing, you point your pad at the opposite direction of where you're facing. So since I'm right in front of the monster, since I'm facing forward, I'll hold back and press X. So watch this, guys. You do an attack to a bullet thrust into the special. But this time, I'm gonna tell you guys exactly when I'm holding back and pressing X, okay? So watch this. Now. Yep. Sadly, he died too quickly. So let me show you guys one more time. When you're in the animation of doing the special attack, press X, back and X. As soon as you get in the animation, make sure you hold back and then press X. Not necessarily. It's always, well, since I'm in front of since I'm facing forward, then I'm holding back and pressing X. If you're facing your right, you're gonna hold left. If you're facing the left, you'll hold right. You can go to the options and actually adjust the options, so no matter where you're facing, all you have to do is press back and X. But for the most part, if you don't have that setting, you want to press the opposite of wherever you're facing, because once you're in an animation, you're going to be locked in that position. Alright, so let's get ready to eat again. And for practice, I'm going to fight the Molten Tigrex. I don't fight the Molten Tigrex too often. I don't really guard. I do a lot of guard point practicing. But let's see what we do against the Molten Tigrex, for example. It should be fairly easy. It's a very simple monster to fight. Also, guys, what I want to show you is this. If you noticed, the second attack, this move, the upward slash, and when you press R and A to load your phials, it's the second slash as well. It goes right into your second attack, into your roundhouse slash finisher. But once you have your red shield, when you do this, and your shield is red, that actually counts as a KO damage attack. So also, yes, as well as your shield bash. So I want to show you guys that. When your shield is red and you want to stack some KO damage to knock them out really easily, you can do your shield bash and this attack as well. So if you want to do a knockout combo with all knockout damages, you can do this. You can do R and A, shield bash, into your special attack. Or if your shield is red, you want to go into a special cancel. So let's see how we do. Alright, our shield is red. So I want to show you guys what I mean. Alright, let's go to the front of the monster. Of course, you want to hit its head if you want to knock it out, right? So I'll press R and A. If you notice, I had an element. See that? So when your shield is red, both attacks actually do knockout damage when you're aiming at the head. Guard points. 1, 2. Let's try again. 1, 2. Very simple. Special cancel. Oh, he doesn't like that. Yes, guys, also, I want to tell you guys the differences and the options that you have after you do a guard point. For one, you can do that into a special cancel. Let's try again. Oh, and of course, you are rewarded when you do guard points. So for example, just for doing guard points, you not only damage the monster, but if you guard point the monster's head, that does count as KO damage as well. So if you're doing once you do a guard point, you have the options of either dodging, switching to your axe mode, or going into your special attack or special cancel. Special cancel. Or even switching. So you have, I'm sorry, you have even more options. I actually forgot to mention that. So for example, once you do a special guard, you can do your special position and press R to use your phials for your shield. What I personally like to do as well, when I'm doing mix-ups, even if, like for example, I'll use 3 phials to do special cancels for, and then I'll use the other 2. I'll use the other 2 to transition to my shield. So yeah, once you actually get the hang of guard pointing, it's actually really good. Oh, he didn't like that. Guard point, special cancel. I think the most important thing you will want to get used to first before doing anything, because attacking going into guard point position is very easy. But once you get... Well, here we go. Oh, I missed. I missed. Alright, we're going to transition into our shield to keep our shield red. We don't do yellow. Red only. Oh no. Ooh. That was close. Reload. So I'll say, guys, the most important thing I would say to master first would be the standing guard point. So you can actually see how important it is. And another knockout for Psych-Gnaw. Remember, you can do this, knockout, knockout, cancel. And done! So as you see, once you get the hang of guard pointing, killing monsters like Molten T-Rex is nothing. So yeah, this is Psych-Gnaw, and you know, it wasn't much, but I wanted to give you guys a short little easy tutorial. And remember guys, guard pointing while standing still, it's X then R. Transition. Load your files. Special cancel. It's so many mix-ups you can do. Like I know for a fact that I didn't want to get really too into combos because I know you'll get used to most of these combos just by playing the game. But yeah, the Charge Blade is absolutely amazing. I love the variety. I love the offensive as well as defensive attributes, and it's a generally awesome weapon. I use every weapon, but the Charge Blade, if I had to choose only one weapon to use for a year straight, it'll be the Charge Blade. Period. Period. Hands down. But this is Psych-Gnaw. If you guys have any questions at all about the Charge Blade or any other tips or anything that I forgot, you know, anything to mention that should, if anything that I don't even know, please put it in the comment section below. But this is Psych-Gnaw heading out, and I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Peace.